Hey guys, welcome to episode 32 of the VoiceOFpunk. I'm your host, the VoiceOFpunk. Now, I'm gonna put my thoughts on, I'm gonna put my 2 cents on what should the Batman Reboot kind of be about, or what what I want to happen with a Batman Reboot. And what's going to make me think is my handy dandy Coke Zero. Product placement. So how I think the Batman Reboot should the setting they should take place in, I would think, because the Tim Burton and Tim Burton and the Joel Schumacher movies, they were more comic books. They were more comic book like. Obviously the Christopher Nolan movies were more realistic, and it took on its own term called Nolanverse. I would think I think the Batman Reboot should take on a world kind of like the Batman Arkham games, which is kind of a mixture between the comic books and the Christopher Nolan kind of treatment, and combine them. I think that's what they should do for the setting that the Batman Reboot should be set in. Either that or something kind of like the animated series, or for example, have I would say make it more darker. I don't want them to go back to even though I'm a guy, I love camp. I have a lot of fun with campy, but I want them to make it a little bit more darker, a little bit because they said the Batman Reboot is supposed to be coming out until 2017, and at that time, and in that time of age, Batman needs to be a little bit more darker, a little bit more not that I'm not going to say it's it should not be funny, but it shouldn't have a lot of comic relief in it. The Christopher Nolan movies, people say those movies were dark. I would say they were more blockbusters in a way. Because the Christopher Nolan movies were more blockbuster dramas, but there were still a lot of comic relief characters in there, and I always felt the comic relief, besides say the Joker, the comic relief in the Batman, Christopher Nolan, the Batman series, felt really out of place, and it didn't really fit. It only fitted with the Joker because it's the Joker, and it's basically his character. He's funny, and you feel bad when you laugh about what he's saying and what he's doing, but you can't help it because he's so goddamn funny. Excuse me, sorry about that. So I would say they should set the new Batman Reboot in a world where it's kind of like the Arkhamverse, kind of like in the Arkham games, with very little comic relief. Hold on, guys. Okay. With very little comic relief, because I just want to see a Batman where the comic relief, say, comes from the villains. Say it's a villain like the Joker, or a villain like the Riddler. Just villains like that. That's should where the comic relief kind of comes from, or from Alfred. I think those are only the comic relief characters that should be in it. Some of the villains and Alfred, and the characters who I think they should have in the Batman Reboot. I kind of want them to do. I kind of want to see Robin, but at the same time, I don't. Hold on. They should have a one thing I think would be kind of cool. Instead of having a kid Robin, they should have him already be Nightwing. I think that'd be kind of cool. Having Batman be a little bit more older, and having the Nightwing or something, like having Dick Grayson be Nightwing, and you just show like through flashbacks of him being Robin. I think that'd be kind of cool, because I never really see that in a live action movie. Because in the live action movies, it's always Batman on his own or it's Batman and Robin. I think people know the comic history all like pretty well. Even people who don't read comics, I think they know pretty well that Robin becomes like grows up and he becomes Nightwing, and they pretty much did that in they practically did that in Batman Under the Red Hood, where Robin was voiced by where Nightwing was voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, I think. I had the movie. I had to check it out. I can't remember if I think he is voiced by Neil Patrick Harris, but and I think Batman should like if there is a Robin, I would like to actually, to tell you the truth, I would like them to do a Jason Todd kind of story. A Jason Todd kind of story with it, because I think it'd be kind of cool. Like if they do like a trilogy for the Batman kind of reboots, I think it'd be kind of cool if they have Batman and Nightwing, and then the first movie, Jason Todd comes in. Then in the second one, Jason Todd dies. Then in the third one, all hell breaks loose, kind of thing. I think it'd be kind of cool if they do like the death in the family story arc in a live action movie. I think that'd be kind of cool. The villains, okay, like even though I just said I would like to see them do a death in the family Jason Todd kind of story arc. Villains for the new Batman reboot, I know a lot of people say the Joker, but I don't want to see the Joker back. Like, to tell you the truth, I'm kind of tired of him. Like, the reason why I don't want the Joker to be the bad guy in a Batman reboot, one, he was, excuse me, in the Batman 1960s show, like, the movie for that show, there was like a whole bunch of villains. The villains in that was Joker, Penguin, Riddler, and Catwoman. So Joker was in that. He was the bad guy in the Tim Burton's first Batman. He was the bad guy in practically in every single animated Batman movie, like Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Mask of the Phantom or Mask of the Phantasm. I can't remember how you say it, but he was in that. He was in Batman and Superman movie. He was in Batman Under the Red Hood. Like, Joker has been the central villain, and I get it. He's the arch enemy of Batman, but I think it'd be better if they choose a different villain this time around. Like, of course, Heath Ledger was great as Joker, but, you don't have, like, if they want to do the Joker again, people are saying they can't because of Heath Ledger, but it's really easy to do something different from Heath Ledger's Joker, because really what you have to do is, like, what you have to do is basically do the Joker from the comics, because the Joker from the comics was kind of like Chad Nicholson's, but, you just had, like, there's an easier way to do something different from Heath Ledger's Joker and do it even better. But, okay, like I said before, I don't want the Joker to be the main bad guy. Villains who I want to see in the new Batman reboot, number one is the Riddler. The reason why is because, Jim Carrey was good as the Riddler, even though, like, some people are pretty mixed about it. I thought he was okay. But I want to see the Riddler, like, a more darker kind of Riddler, because I love the Riddler. And I would like to see, like, because, the whole rumor, after the Dark Knight came out, the whole rumor was the Riddler was going to be the bad guy for The Dark Knight Rises. And, Johnny Depp was going to play him and stuff like that. I would like to see the Riddler in a movie, And I would like to see like him being this really darker, like a darker character, like, because I don't know about you guys, but in my view, I think the Riddler is even more crazier than the Joker. Because to me, the Joker is nothing more than a sociopath. Like, he just doesn't care. The Riddler, I feel like with his obsessive compulsive disorder, he basically has a god complex. To me, that makes him a little bit more crazier, and the way like he would just snap at any moment. I want to see that kind of Riddler, like a guy who's so calm, so collected, but then when something screws up, he's like, no, 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 like that. Like, he just snaps, and he's like, just goes crazy. I always like that. Always like that kind of Riddler, and make him be really smart, because in my view, the Riddler is smarter than Batman. And I don't think a lot of people will really argue with me on that point, because I don't know, just something about Riddler that it just makes sense of him being the smartest character in the Batman world. Like, I think he's even smarter than Hugo Strange. Like in the Arkham games and in Arkham City, they kind of made Hugo Strange to be the smartest, but Riddler pretty much already knew what Arkham Strange, what Hugo Strange was doing. So I would like to think the Riddler is smarter than Hugo Strange and Batman and all them. And I would like to see like something like for the Riddler, how I want to be darker. I like the idea of him putting people through death traps and make him be a little bit more like a Jigsaw-like character from the Saw series. Like, I would like to see them make him darker. They put people through death traps, and I would like to see him be like a Jigsaw-like character and go a little bit more in his god complex. Like, he's like, I am smarter than everybody. I think that would be. I think the Riddler would be a pretty good choice for the reboot. Another character who I think would be a good choice for the reboot is the Penguin. Like, even though, like, I want to see the Penguin back, and even though the Penguin, like, when the Penguin was betrayed by Danny DeVito in Batman Returns, that was great. Like, Danny DeVito had so much fun playing the Penguin, and you could tell he had a lot of fun, and he's my favorite character in that movie. But, like, I love that version of the Penguin. I think for the reboot, they should have the Penguin come and be a little bit more like he was in the comics. Like, have him have the Iceberg Lounge. And have him be like... I would like to think actually have him be a villain in each movie. Like, if they're doing, like, in the trilogy, have the Penguin be, like, the second villain in each of the movies. I think that'd be kind of cool. Like, and then in the third movie, he's finally the main villain, or something like that. Like, something like that, or either just have him, like, come in for one movie, or, But I would like to see this Penguin be a little bit more realistic, and have him be a little bit more, like, kind of like how he was in the comics. Like, still have him be fat, still have him be really short, and I kind of want them to be him. I kind of want the Penguin in the Batman reboot, if they ever do it. I think I want him to be a little bit more like he was in the Batman Arkham City game. Because in the Batman Arkham City game, Penguin was my favorite character. Like, I loved the Penguin in that game. And the reason why I loved him was because they made him into a savage. Like, he was sadistic, he was brutal, but he wanted to be classy, and I think that would be a great portrayal for film. Like, have the Penguin be this classy man, the Iceberg Lounge, he has very nice suits, but underneath, he's a sadistic animal. I think that would be a great portrayal of the Penguin in the Batman reboot. People say, like, there's really no other, like, it's kind of cliche for me to say, but there's no other person besides Danny DeVito, there's no other person to play the Penguin in this day and age besides Philip Seymour Hoffman. He's tailor-made for the Penguin. Like, I can't really think about anybody else to play him. Like, even though it kind of makes me, I know that sounds very cliche, saying like Philip Seymour Hoffman should play the Penguin, but I don't really think of anyone else who would be able to play him. No, so I have the Penguin. I would think the Penguin should be really cold. He should be very like just brutal, sadistic, like if you're gonna go far, have him be like the cannibal, you know? If you want to go over the top, have him be like a freaking cannibal. Another villain who I would like to see, I would like to say Mr. Freeze. But how I like to see Mr. Freeze be a little bit more of an anti-hero. Like, I kind of want Mr. Freeze, like, kind of like how I said about the Penguin being in each movie. I want Mr. Freeze being in each movie. Like, have like a subplot with Mr. Freeze and him slowly turning into that character. Like in the first one, like if they ever do a trilogy and they have Mr. Freeze in it, have like Mr. Freeze be like this he's a doctor, you know, saving his wife, but at the end of the movie his wife collapses and he's trying to save her. The second one goes into his transformation, and in the third one he's Mr. Freeze. I think that'd be pretty cool, and it would give like a lot of emotional depth, and I think it would be a really cool thing for a live action movie. I don't know who should really play Mr. Freeze. Like, again, it's kind of cliche, but Patrick Stewart, I think. But at the same time, though, like, I kind of want them to do something a little younger. Like, I don't know, like, I was just thinking about this. I was like, Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis as Mr. Freeze. But if they did that, that would be more like a back to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Mr. Freeze, and I don't want them to go back to that, but even though I still laugh at that, but you know, for a darker Batman, you need a darker Mr. Freeze, and I just imagine Bruce Willis as him. Batman. Yippee-ki-yay. That'd be kind of funny. I don't know. But, yeah, so, like, do I really feel that they really need to have a Batman reboot? Oh, no, I mean, let's go back to the villains. Another person who I'd like to see in a Batman villain, as a Batman villain, you know, I would like to see the ventriloquist. Yeah, the ventriloquist in Scarface. I think that'd be kind of good, actually, like, because you haven't really seen these guys in a movie. Like, you only see them in the games and the cartoon series, but I think if you put them in a movie, they'll become one of the great villains. Like, he'll become one of the great villains. Like, a puppeteer who has a split personality, and his split personality is his puppet. I don't know, I really like that idea, and I really think that if they did that in the movie, that'd be awesome. Like, I don't see him as a main villain, but as a secondary villain, I think that'd be pretty good. Like, maybe team him up with the Penguin, or team him up with the Riddler, but I think that would be a really good thing for the movie and for that character, because I really think that character is very, very underrated. Again, as a villain, I want to see in the movie is the Mad Hatter. I don't really have a lot to say about that, but I like to see the Mad Hatter be like a secondary villain. Like, a lot of these villains, like, only two villains I see as a main villain is Penguin and Riddler. But all the rest, what I'm thinking about right now, I can see them as secondary, like the ventriloquist, Mad Hatter, in a weird way, Calendar Man. Because Calendar Man, okay, I'll admit, he's a stupid villain. He's really stupid. But how they portrayed him in Batman, The Long Halloween, and Batman Arkham City, Jesus goddamn Christ, he was freaking creepy in Arkham City. He was freaking creepy. And I want to see like an Arkham City version of Calendar Man in a movie. That'd be awesome. And another villain who I'd like to see is Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, I know he was played by Liam Neeson in Batman Begins, but I would like to see him come back in a movie, and I would like to see like a true portrayal of Ra's al Ghul, like have him have the League of Assassins, have him have Talia al Ghul, have him have the Lazarus Pit. Like I think having Ra's al Ghul, that'd be good for if they want to do like a Batman trilogy with Jason Todd, like with the Jason Todd Death in the Family. I think it would be good having Ra's al Ghul as the main villain in each movie, because he'd be trying to get Batman to be his. Like I just love that story of him trying to get Batman to be his successor and all that, and like I said before, in my actually first ever video, I say that Ra's al Ghul has taken Joker's place as the main bad guy, like as Batman's arch enemy. In a way, I still believe that because, I see Ra's al Ghul more like how I explain this is to the city, Joker's the main villain, but personal, I would say Ra's al Ghul. Like, just think about it. His daughter is in love with Batman. Batman is in love with her. They have a kid who is raised by Ra's al Ghul. What's his name? Damian Wayne. Damian Wayne was raised by Ra's al Ghul, sent to kill Batman, his own father, and I think it's just like with his morals and Batman's morals, it's such a clash, and it's actually really epic. And I think like he would be great as like a real portrayal of Ra's al Ghul, like the comic book version of Ra's al Ghul. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. Do I really think that they should actually make a Batman reboot? I'll tell you the truth, when I first heard about it, I was really set back because the second Dark Knight Rises was made, it was made out in theaters, Batman Reboot. And I just thought like, well, you're really, like, if you want to do a Batman Reboot, do it like in 10 years. You know, like, I don't know, it's just, the reboots nowadays are really like, I don't know how I put it, but the Batman, like, the reboots of movies in general, it's getting too much. And they are rebooting everything. And, to see, like, when I first heard about the Batman reboot, I didn't like it. I wanted them to continue on with the Dark Knight Rises, with Joseph Gordon-Levitt becoming Batman and all that, but now as I think about it, I'm getting a little bit more excited for it because I don't really see where you can go on with Batman as like after the Dark Knight Rises. I see that story is done. You know, it's done. And so as I think about now the Batman reboot, I get a little bit more excited, and yeah, so those are my thoughts on it. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the Batman reboot. What should they do? Who should be in it? And yeah, so comment, like if you like this video, like it, subscribe, comment. So, you know, I want to hear you guys' thoughts, and if you like this video, like it, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Bye, guys.